Hey, it's the 3rd of April 2015 and I thought I'd bring you down here just to show you what it's like when it's nice and quiet with virtually everything shut. It looks very different. Normally you've got people wanting to like shine your shoes and drag you into the restaurants and stuff, and it's really peaceful at the moment. Anyway, in 3 hours from now we're heading off to that island over there, and that'll be the highlight of the day and a good way to end my stay in North America. Well, I'm going back to the hotel for a little bit. Then I'm heading off to catch the ferry to Alcatraz. I think this is one of the longest hallways I've ever seen in a hotel. Mine's about a third of the way down. I'm glad my room's not at the very end. Take me 5 minutes just to walk to the lift to go downstairs. Well, it's 8 o'clock now and it's still very, very quiet. I've got about a 20-minute walk to get to Pier 33. Well, I'm nearly there. Pier 33 should be just right over there. And for breakfast today I got a croissant, a donut and a hot chocolate. As you can see, Alcatraz is really popular.
Get on the same page. That's my thing to her is, I understand her focus. I understand she wants to do the job. I understand she wants to be successful.
I was stressed about how I was going to get back to my car and walk through the homeless gauntlet. That's what I took your bus. No, I was worried. I was wearing heels, and I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to get robbed. What happened? Why was it so amazing? Well, I was trying to fancy party. I just didn't realize I had to drive and park the car far away. And it's... Oh, the fact that I was billowing my orange sleeves. If someone touched you, there was some... Yeah, I was trying to...
We're on the boat now. It's going to go across to Alcatraz Island. It's only a short ride and they've got a snack bar as well. Americans love their pretzels as well, apparently. We're on the upper decks now. Oh, there's another deck as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Alcatraz cruises vessels sail under rules and regulations set forth by the United States Coast Guard. We are affected all the proper firefighting and life-saving practices. In the event of an emergency, our trained crew members will assist you with our life-saving equipment. Life jackets are located under all fixed seating and their closets throughout the vessel. Alcatraz, the most infamous island in the world. We invite you to explore its multi-layered history. You'll walk on the footsteps of America's most dangerous criminals and the men who guarded them. Hear their voices and experience their daily lives when you tour the federal penitentiary. Alcatraz is so much more than just a prison. The National Park Service welcomes you to Alcatraz Island.
Yeah, duh!
An orientation video.
I see it! I see it!
Native American occupation videos. And the recorded cell house tour. You will learn directions to these activities at the dock. And on your information block. Smoking, eating, and drinking are allowed only at the dock. Mild water is allowed. Entering into closed rivers is a violation of federal law. It's important to note that to reach parts of the island and the sighthouse on foot, you will incur steep grades to the Park Service and your National Park Service.
Andy, do you want your other jacket?
Once again,
Francisco Bay, along with Fort Point. Fort Point is another fort that was established at the same time in the 1850s, and it now rests under the archway at the south end of the Golden Gate Bridge. So these guarded the entrance to San Francisco Bay, and out and in and out through San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate was the entrance to the gold fields, and gold had been discovered outside of Sacramento 1848. So whoever controlled the entrance to San Francisco Bay really controlled the movement of gold. And a very important strategic location, but with a 5% accuracy rate on these cannons, it's a good thing we were never invaded, don't you think? Second thing that the military did was add on 3 levels to this lower level building. And those 3 levels were military barracks. And then during the federal penitentiary period, which was only 29 years of Alcatraz history, 1934 to 1963, this is one of the locations where correctional officers and their families lived during that time period.
I walked down there in a little bit. Just have a look in here. Here are different birds that can be found on and around the island. It's a gull. This is called a cormorant. Sorry about the noisy kid in the background. Yeah, I know.
Boo, have you seen this, Boo Boo? Your mom's there. This is their utensils.
What is that?
That's theirs.
Here are some of the basic utensils and things that prisoners got to use. You got a fork and spoon. There's no knife, as you can see. There's a cup, a bowl, and if they got bored, they could play cribbage. That's a game I haven't played for a long time. I can't even remember how to play it. You had a lot of kids also living on the island. They belonged to the prison guards and administrators of the prison. So rather than like move back and forwards every day from the island, I guess they stayed on the island and raised their families that way. These prison uniforms look pretty fancy. That looks more like a pilot's uniform. Sorry about the reflection. It's too much light. Hey George, if you're watching, here's a Tommy gun for you. This is from the armory from the 1930s here on Alcatraz. Alcatraz is being powered by a system of photovoltaic cells and batteries. That's why it's so quiet. Except for the seagulls.
They're still in there.
And now for the exciting part. Over here we have the shower room. And over here is where they kept all the uniforms and towels and shaving equipment. I'm listening to an audio tour, and these are the people who are leading me through the prison. All the inmates were actually given a pack of cigarettes every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I think it was, whether they smoked or not. So that's weird. That's what they did back then. And that is not the correct time. But this area was called Times Square by the inmates. And we're going into the dining hall. So here's where the prisoners had all their meals. And here's the kitchen. There's an office over there. Alcatraz even had its own hospital. And over here you can see one of the operating tables. The bridge was very popular with all the prisoners on Alcatraz. But they actually used a form of dominoes instead of cards. And they'd go out and sit in the cold for hours and just play bridge. And they were so preoccupied with that they, not very many of them thought of escaping. So it kept them well behaved. Here's where all the really bad prisoners went and the ones who misbehaved. They were only let out once a week for a bit of exercise and to use the shower, so I guess you'd get really smelly if you stayed in this block, the D block. That guy there in the middle is known as the Birdman. He was a homicidal, suicidal maniac, and he liked birds. These cells over here are called isolation cells. otherwise known as the Hole. And that's where you go if you've been really, really, really bad. This is the prison library. And there's a picture of what it used to look like back then. That thing that looks like a light switch is actually a radio, and prisoners could plug their earphones into it, but they only had a choice of 2 different stations. Here's where your loved ones would come and visit you if you had visitation rights. This would be your view if you were a prisoner and somebody came to meet you. They'd obviously come through that door. And yeah, you just sit and talk about whatever until your time's up. This is the control room where the officers worked. So we get to see a dummy wearing the uniform. He looks more like an airline pilot, as I said earlier. That's a fake head right there. I don't know how that fooled anybody. Maybe the prison guard was blind. There were apparently 3 guys involved in an escape with dummy heads, and they somehow made holes in the back of their cell. Somebody must have smuggled some tools in to be able to make holes that big. We're now looking at the utility corridor behind the cells that the men broke out of. They apparently climbed up the piping and up into the roof. And apparently those men were never found. Some people think they drowned, other people think they fled to South America because they were all fluent in Spanish. Guess we'll never know. I need to put that up where I work, I reckon. What do you think?
Thank you for sailing with Alcatraz Cruises. For the era of tall ships on the west coast at the San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park. For the best view of the Golden Gate Bridge,
given this restaurant as a recommendation, but I just got informed there's a 30-minute wait. I want something now, not 30 minutes time.
Mom, there's a staircase over there.
Go that way?
Not national parks.
So, got to find somewhere else. Well, I found myself somewhere to eat. I got some garlic bread coming, plus a chicken parmigiana. No matter where you go in the world, Coke always tastes good. I only bought the half serve of garlic bread and I'm glad I did. That's huge. And this is my chicken parmesan. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed all of my holiday videos, whether you've watched them on YouTube, Facebook or on DVD. It's time to say goodbye. I'm going back to my hotel room just to make sure everything's packed up and everything's ready to go because I fly back home tomorrow. I've had a great time for the most part. A few things went wrong, like hotels catching on fire and having a big argument with some woman at the Space Needle, but hey. I think it's a pretty good holiday. Had some great times with great friends, and thank you for everyone who met up with me and hung out with me and let me stay at their place. From San Francisco, California, it's goodbye and God bless.